No formalities here, Professor. My friends, here is my information, whatever. So we are going to start that PowerPoint presentation, PPT. Here is me. Here is me. I'm going to give you the presentation. I will explain you clearly. First, my presentation is goal that what I'm going to say you today, and you must know this. And you can tell after 10 years also, or you may have the function, how to say, that is your expectation in next time that you can study about some. So I don't want that you lose any point from here, because I did hard job. I arrange those information only for you. So how we go? Here is me. I'm going to explain you to all of you. No question, no sound. And then one by one, again I will start from here. Then one by one we will explain. No question, no answer. It's just increasing knowledge. That we are friends. So frankly we will discuss together. So one by one slide we will discuss after finish this one. Okay? May I go? With your permission. Okay. So let's start. Here British imperialism in India. This is Qazi Abdullah Mamun, International Relation, and this is my email address. Here we go. Before colonization, the Mughal Empire, I will try to explain slowly. Then again we are coming here also. In the Mughal Empire, 1526 to 1757, Muslims were favored over the majority Hindus. Hindu is a religion. Decline of the Mughals began with religious conflict between Muslims and Hindus and resulted in infighting and a divided empire. Muslims were the majority in the northwest modern Pakistan, now where we see the Pakistan map, and northeast modern Bangladesh, where I am from. Many cities and some villages were mixed. This is basic idea. So here you see the map. Yeah. End of Mughal rule. 1600th century, the British East India Company, it was a company name, they came here for the business, established trading post at Bombay, what is Mumbai nowadays, in Madras, Chennai, and Calcutta in India actually. At first, India's ruling Mughal Empire kept European traders under control, but already weakened by civil war and misrule few, Indians wished to be defended by 1707. However, the Mughal Empire was collapsing. Dozens of small states, each headed by a ruler or Maharaja. Maharaja means the empire. It's in the local language in Hindi. Broke away from Mughal control. British East India Company. This private profit-seeking corporation was allowed by the British government to rule India by itself through company rule, in which the British government allowed it to act as representative of the British and make laws as it saw fit in the areas of India it controlled. Gained control after a decisive victory at the Battle of Plassey. Here is in English the Plassey. How to pronounce it? Plassey? No, in our language it's a Plassey. War of Plassey in 1757. Worked with complained Indian leaders to get rich trading India's cotton, silk, indigo dye, salt, tea, and opium. Company rule. When I will read this one, please see the photo, what you can see. There is a people after the company rule. They are very energetic, they are very healthy, they are very rich. You saw them? They are very rich, they are very healthy, They are energetic people. You see them?
No.
What do you think? They are rich?
No.
They are not rich. They are not healthy. That means, okay, I will read this one. This is the period of company rule of British government. Indians' resources were needed to meet the worldwide demand for cheap, washable, lightweight fabrics for clothing and furnishing. This made India richest and irresistible target. Seeking only profit and control, but most actually the powder name is Nil. You have the white t-shirt like this, white shirt, white, so blue, with a blue color. After you wash it, and then that blue water, you can put this white shirt like this, and when you dry it, it will be so shiny. So it's called Nil. So British government, they cultivate by the Indians, agriculture people, farmers. Seeking only profit and control, but mostly profit, the BEIC, that is British East Indian Company, forced many Indians to grow in demand non-food crops, including the opium sent to China. So what they're doing, they grow Nil, that powder, when you are growing your rice, your any other food agricultural stuff, but they say they're going to cut it, and they force that if you don't cultivate their demanding product, agri product, then they're gonna force you. I mean, they're gonna shoot you. They're gonna do something bad with you. So that's also coming. So they grow their own products. Even they opium. They grow opium in India and they sell it into the China. So they make a business, but they don't care about these rich people. What you see here. Sharing none of the profits, they are not sharing any profits. Many parts of India under the BEIC's control face intermittent starvation with too few farms producing food. That means they are not having food, they are not having money, but they are having forcement to cultivate the BEIC product. The British Empire, however, grew incredibly rich. So because of this, British government was going to be rich, but not the Indian people. So the sepoys is we call it Sipahi. Sipahi means soldier. So the East India Company, and Sipahi you can find in Oxford Dictionary also. The East India Company even had its own army, led by British officers and staffed by native Indians called Sepoys. So you see, the one leader can run thousands of soldiers, right? One leader can run thousands of soldiers. So they make this politics, they make these tricks. So they get officers from the England and they took native Indians as a soldier. So the native people will kill their native peoples because they know each other in their areas. But all the orders come from the England and the officer is English. Do you understand this one? The one order shoot, so 1,000 people will shoot. So they are not having the mind to what to do, what not to do. So that mind belongs to an English person. That's how they maintain. So made up of Hindu Castarias is a Muslims and Sikhs. It's a actually I would say like Amkazi. So it's a some tribal names. So a North Central Indian religious minority, enough willing and loyal recruits were found to allow the British to control all the parts of India they desired. So wherever they want, they are doing that. They did. How could a few boat loads? Here is interesting. There is second-class citizens in their own country and impoverished by the profit-seeking BEIC, Indians failed to unite to kick out the British for the following reasons. So here is the reasons that why Indian people they unite against British colonialism. Political leaders were benefiting from British trade and support and saw benefits to modernization. The British possessed far superior weaponry. Enough Indians were willing to be hired as Sepoy soldiers to defend the British. With Mughal decline preceding, the arrival of the British India was divided into small rival kingdoms. Rivalries between Muslims and Hindus, with Hindus resenting centuries of Muslim rule, prevented uniting to face the common enemy. The caste system made uniting for a common cause difficult. Agent of change, the Sepoy Mutiny in the Sepoy Mutiny in the 1850 century, the colonized Indians made their first large-scale rebellion against the colonizers, led by many Sepoys who turned against their British commanders. The immediate spur to the violence was resentment against being incentively forced to use grass from the scared cow for Hindus and from unclean pigs for Muslims. So now you see, here is the interesting matter. I am Muslim, so I don't eat pork. So, and the Hindu people, they don't eat beef. And these problems, when ration comes, the food comes from the government, so they are not having idea that which tribes what they eat. So Muslim got pork and Hindus got beef. They will die, but they'll never eat. This makes sense. So people was angry for that. The immediate spark to the violence, okay. The underlying cause, of course, was anger at being treated as second-class citizens in their own homeland and the British taking Indians' wealth. So, as I am in Korea, if I treat you, you are a second-class citizen and I am a first-class citizen, I really don't care about you. I always don't give anything to you, whatever. So, do you feel good? I'm a foreigner. I'm treating you in your country as like a second-class citizen. Do you like it?
Of course not.
You don't like it, right? And I earn money here by you, and what I'm giving you small part of that, and I'm getting all with me in my country. Do you like that? Of course not. So it was our same situation. Agent of change, the Sepoy Mutiny. Some areas stayed loyal to Britain, but the fighting was forced with revenge, killings, and atrocities against civilians, women, and children by both sides. So when I'm going to force you, like if how to say that you keeping your faith that no, I'm not going to tolerate your ruling. Blah blah blah. So what I'm doing, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to force you, and then when you are not moving anywhere, then what I'm doing, I'm going to your children, I'm going to your wife, I'm going to your husband. So I'm punish them too, that you follow my order, you follow my order. So British Sepoy, the soldiers, they start that torturing also. The British managed to keep order, but the Sepoy Mutiny showed that company rule could not protect British investments in India. So the British government took over control of its Indian colonies in 1858, beginning a near century of direct rule. For these 2 wars, thousands of British people flocked to India to increase their presence and to build the railroads, telegraph lines, and other infrastructure needed for long-term rule over hundreds of millions of Indians. Instead of driving the British out, the Sepoy Mutiny caused a massive increase of their British presence in India. Needing a compliant workforce for such a large colony, the British began to educate wealthy and high caste. Caste means in Hinduism we have 5 castes. So caste means classes of people. It depends on what they work. So up to their work is the casting system. So to educate wealthy who has money, high caste Indians who is higher class, to get them to adapt both the English language and British customs. Uh, I feel that if I am going to rule you in a smiling way, in the political way, so first I need to make you a good friendship. Second, I need to change your culture. I need to mix my culture to you, and I'm not going to take your culture. That is. And third is religion change. I'm going to give you something, I'm going to show you something that let's change your religion, because it's a great faith. When you will come on my track, then I'm Muslim, you're Muslim, or I'm Christian, you're Christian, I'm Hindu, you're Hindu. So you will have sympathy with me. Oh, it's the same religion, so I can give him something. We can do it. And like this way, they try to change. And when I'm wearing better clothes than you, of course you looks to me 2 more times, right? When I'm well dressed, when I have a good perfume, then you will smell me 2 times more than any other people. So British, they showed that. The results were many Indians aiding in colonial rule and the creation of favored Indians elites who could act like gentlemen. So you see the Englishman, they has tie, coat, and so good, looks good, right? So smart, so gentle people. And in Indian system is that they do like this, and it's also native religious based dress. So when in front of Englishman, it looks like, oh, it's dumb, and Englishman is gentle. So they give this one to the elite people in India. So in India there is 2 classes. That is, one is really gentlemen and one is poor Indians. So they make this part in the cultural. So they change the cultural mind. The new Indian middle classes slowly grew tired of the injustice of British rule. People was fed up really. The new nationalists root in both English and their regional languages and turned to aspects of Indian tradition, especially Hinduism, as a rallying ground of national pride. All the Muslims and the lower caste were generally excluded. In Muslimism, this religion we don't have any caste, but in that time the Hindu people is a majority was Hindu, so they count as a poor Muslim and rich Muslim. 1885, a large group of these new Indian nationalists founded the Indian National Congress, INC, in short form, to pressure colonial leaders for more rights and greater self-rule and independence. Railroads, the third largest network in the world at the time, enables India to develop a modern economy and connected regions. A modern road network, telephone and telegraph lines, dams, bridges, and irrigation canals were created. When I'm going to get from you something, then you are protesting my ruling. So then I'm coming to give you more opportunity. What is new for you? So irrigation is really, it was work out on that time. Because do you understand irrigation? In the paddy field, there is a growing rice, right? They need water. So in irrigation, the water canals, they're making water canals, and the rice grows so fast and good one, and more produce than before. So the farmers, they like it, and sanitation and public health improved. Schools and malaria, filaria, cholera. It was it's a plague. Malaria, what is by water. So this sanitation and public health, actually it's true that it start to improve on that British colonial time. School and colleges were founded and literacy increased. So they made school and colleges. So the Indians, they start to go in their school where is Western culture, where is Western education, history with Indian culture and history. Before we had, the name is Pathshala, what is only the religious based education, but they started the Western mixed education. British troops cleared central India of bandits, end to local warfare among competing local rulers. British held most of the political and economic power. This is really negative impact. It's, the people naturally we become jealousy people. So profitable in industries such as cotton, salt, construction, tea, etc. were firmly controlled by the British. No one likes to controlled by someone. Conversion to cash crops reduced food production, causing famines in the late 18th century. Loss of cultural practices and languages. Here is also one. That is, we have some people who control our small villages. In Korea also, I said the villages. There is small what is that? Government office. The villagers can come and they can talk each other, right? In the village, everywhere. So we had also same. But then they started talking about that we are losing our language. In India, it's a big country, so we have the really huge language. So they are talking about that we are losing our language, we are losing our culture, because our culture is Dhuti, Punjabi. It's a name of clothes. So Tupi cap, it's a different Tupi, and Pagri in Punjab, it's like this way, Pagri in Punjab. I will show you. I will have another presentation about the culture, so I will show you that. So they are thinking that we are losing our religious faith, we are losing our culture, we are losing our languages. So they also protest by themselves from the villages. Divisions between Anglicized elites and traditional Indians. So it's all making a part, both two part made here. Humiliation of being inferior in one's own home. What was negative for the British? Paid for infrastructure, roads, telephone, railroads. Okay, so British invest here. Paid for education, yes, they invest here. Money is spent on military and government in India. British first, they showed us the gun. Before we had the sword. In Choikondo, you see the CKD, Choikondo, then the sword fighting, something like that. So we had that one. But British introduced us first the gun, the bullets. So they invest that one. Needed a large military presence to maintain control. It's a huge land, huge country. So you need a huge battalion to maintain this one, and they invest there. Created a class of educated Indians, the INC, who would force the British to leave India in 1947. Is the last time of India, less than a century after the beginning of direct rule. So India in 1947, India comes to direct rule by the Indian government, by the Indian people. Here's a short video.
In March 1947, Earl William Mountbatten and his wife Edwina arrive in New Delhi. The great-grandson of Queen Victoria and second cousin to George VI, Mountbatten brings a regal presence to the drama of India's independence. As the last viceroy, he bears responsibility for India's fate. 2nd of April, 1947. I've now completed my first week in office. I should like to be able to paint an encouraging picture of my first impressions, but fear it would be misleading if I did so. The scene there is one of unrelieved gloom. At this early stage, I can see little common ground on which to build any agreed solution for the future of India. The only conclusion I've been able to come to is that unless I act quickly, I may well find the real beginnings of a civil war on my hands. By May, attempts to create a unified India have failed. Gandhi retreats from political life. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, leader of the Muslim League, and Jawaharlal Nehru of the Indian National Congress conceived to divide India. Fearing a total loss of control, Mountbatten brings forward the transfer of power to August. Two nations will be created by partition, a secular India and a new homeland for India's Muslims, Pakistan. Nehru addresses the people of India.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
The 15th of August, 1947, the British Empire in India has come to an end. The last viceroy, Louis Mountbatten.
The flag raising and the salute were done amid scenes of the most fantastic rejoicing. And as the flag broke, a brilliant rainbow appeared in the sky, which was taken by the crowd as a good omen. On the 15th of August came freedom. The freedom to burn, loot and murder. While Delhi and Karachi were celebrating, central Punjab was burning.
Between August 1947 and March 1948, 4.5 million Hindus and Sikhs are forced to migrate from Pakistan to India. 6 million Muslims must move in the opposite direction. Britons and Indians witness the bloodshed. Shahid Ahmed.
It is a battleground. People have gone mad. Trains to Pakistan are being looted and occupants slaughtered. We all knew that carnage was in the offing. So did Mountbatten. The British Empire, which tried to build India over centuries, can never let down this great tragedy.
Lieutenant Colonel Hubert Boyd Hudson.
The sight from the air was awe-inspiring. In this chaos, millions of refugees were struggling to get to India or Pakistan. Thousands of others were doing their best to prevent them, murdering them by the hundred. A death is nothing. There are things more terrible than death.
Ten million people are displaced in the partition of India. 1 million are dead. By the summer of 1948, most of the British have left. Hubert Boyd Hudson has been in India for 15 years.
India is full of ghosts. Houses I have lived in, now inhabited by Indians, remind me of the days which will never come again. When the Viceroy drove past with a cavalry escort in red coats, I have seen the greatness of the British in India, but now it is all ended, and we are the last to leave, the few who are trying to tidy up the mess which the sun-splitting old empire has caused.
Britain has lost its greatest imperial possession. Mahatma Gandhi once said that if India became free, the rest of the empire would follow. In the next 10 years, the fire of India's independence will spread around the globe, from the Middle East to Africa.
Thank you. to you because after that there is 1971, there is 1952. It's a more history about India that after the separation what happened. So now we are going. I think we are in short time, and in short time, how to discuss. If you feel really interested about this story and the history, then Google it, search it. Many more scholars they wrote on there. You can find the good ideas from there. And for a little bit more discussion, we're going inside. Now we'll discuss one by one. If you have anything to say, please go on. I will show one by one. If you have anything to discuss, then let's discuss together. This is a Mughal empire. I think it's known. But British East Indian Company, the private profit-seeking corporation. So in short, that first we have, as a being an Indian, we had a company like Samsung, like LG. It's a company, right? So this kind of company, they comes to India to purchase something to make a business. But day by day, they arrange their soldiers, sepoy. They arrange that, and they organize English battalion for the colony. First they said that this battalion for the safety and security, because they have really expensive products, so they need to secure it. But after that, it's going wrong. They become the ruler of the India. It's 175 or 178 years long. And this is the ruling credit for us, that what we get. And one thing, this story, they really say that when we give the pressure to the people, naturally we will get that same pressure. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe after century, but we get it. So here also saying it's just revenge, that what we lost, we get again. So here is the mutiny. It's a long story, actually, long history. So it's better you watch some movies or you watch some documentary. Maybe you will get some sort of idea. But this story, as professor said, that you can study whole years. I mean, whole of your life. That one by one, you can do several PhD. Changes the Sipahi mutiny, here also Sipahi mutiny, and we must say that the railroads and other developed communication system or developed Western civilization, we also gained from the British. So we are thankful for that they introduced us their culture, and they took our culture too. In England and all over the English areas, you can see maximum in Hindi language, some Bangla language, it becomes English now. And our culture maximum is mixed over there. Even in America, there is Indians who fight for the American liberation. So there is a long history. There is a long history because we generation by generation we mix up. Because 200 years, it's not fun that someone live in our home and we also be there. So, and before we do not have that political parties, but because of British, we need to make political parties, and from that day to till now, we have several political parties in 3 countries, India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. So, they introduce us that. So, we are going for the development, but now still we are in developing country. So, if you say done, then I'm going to say you thank you. If you have anything to say. Thank you then for your really kind attention, and please give a big clap for me.